It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake Sloan in mere seconds. In the meantime, let me give you some contact information for when you want to get in touch with Blake, which I guarantee after hearing the show, you're going to want to very soon if you haven't already. Phone number at Sloan Realty Group is 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. Or just go onto the website, which is blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. We'll repeat that contact info a lot over the next 30 minutes. So if you didn't get it this time, get it next time. Let's go ahead and start the show. Here's Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Amazing show. We have the brand new crazy market numbers out from last month. It's absolute. The insanity continues in regards to new record numbers, new things we're seeing in the market. We'll talk about what's happening here on the Grand Strand and really how you're performing as a whole, from single families to condos, all kind of great stuff. We'll talk about really also one thing I had on the agenda last week, did not have time to do, but I think is really important. And it really digs down to why there's such a shortage in inventory. And it breaks down per decade, how many homes were built for each one, and really how there was just a shortage after the 2008 crisis. And we'll talk about some of the mathematics of that, which is what's leading to, among many reasons, it was part of this shortage that's driving prices up so much. And on top of that, we'll talk about the perfect storm. Once again, how so many people are coming in from out of area. Myrtle Beach was ranked in the top 10 beach destinations to go to, and really in the top 3, which is amazing, off a brand new Tripadvisor survey. Very good news for us. 3 of those were in Florida. We came in again the top 5 at number 3. So we'll talk about what's going on there as well. This is the 60th straight edition. We've been doing this since the whole Corona and COVID craziness, and the market has been dynamic all over the place. 1 year ago, today we were locked down, couldn't get much going on. Today, it's going fast as possible, all kind of people moving in. So we'll talk about that, some brand new success stories. We're also seeing a lot of horror stories. I'm seeing like 2 and 3 a week right now, where people are leaving a massive amount of equity on the table just based on strategy of how they're executing in the marketplace. What that means is they're operating in the old paradigm in a time when it's unprecedented, right? You have to adjust strategy, you have to adjust marketing, you have to adjust really how you're going about it from a tactical standpoint. And we'll talk about how to do that and put extra $50,000 in your pocket, really.
Well, that's a lot of money and a lot of reason to stick around for a while. Now, for all of you who are just tuning in right now, if you've heard the show before, you know all about Blake Sloan. If this is the very first time you caught this show on the weekend here, you might not know who he is. Well, he's been called the Real Estate Wizkid, been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, other national publications. You may have seen him on TV on NBC and also with Fox and Friends with the morning show. Personal endorsements you've heard on this very radio station from Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox, and others. All by itself would be great, but put them together is just unprecedented. Now, every week we also learn a little bit about the trademark systems that Blake has for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details here on the radio, but he is more than happy to tell you the most important part of those trademark systems.
Yes, and when I made a promise to do this, every single show was a few years back. We've been doing this show almost 10 years now, maybe 10 years plus. I'm not even sure, but the reality is I made a promise just after seeing so many horror stories that I talk about this, because I saw so many people, didn't matter if they're affluent or brand new to real estate or whatever it is. I see the same mistake over and over again, day in, day out. Even people that listen to the show, and I said, look, we got to make sure we talk about this every week, at least for a minute. And it really comes down to the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller, because it comes down to one thing and one thing only. That thing is the agent you choose, period, right? Because it has to do with how they actually execute. This is not some TV at Best Buy. This is your largest asset. And for most people, one of their largest assets. And so the reality is, in selling a property, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, guess what that does? That puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. If anything's handled incorrectly, AKA they drop the ball at any point, and that could be anything from the quality of the photos, the order of the photos, the price strategy, the day of the week it's actually listed right now. Does the agent answer the telephone? If they become a web lead on your property, how long does it take the agent to respond to that web lead? There's so many of these variables, right, that matter. that tend to get dropped because you have one single agent who's trying to juggle all 118 of them at the same time, not just on one listing, but multiple listings. And so what most agents do is they get your listing, they do the 3 Ps. 1, they promise the world to get the listing. 2, they put it to MLS. And 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer from a different company. Meanwhile, they're down the street trying to get the next listing. And so with our system, what we did was we identified every single variable. That's how we know there's 118. Then we create a system that's proven and repeatable, that creates maximum leverage at every single point to give our client a huge competitive advantage. So what we do is we create a gap at point 1, create a gap at point 2, at point 3, and we, in essence, we stack those dominoes. So at the end of 118, there's a big gap between us and everyone else. And we use people, technology, aka software, right, and systems to help make sure we manage those variables proactively so it's handled correctly before the problem comes up. And so that's called the guaranteed sold system. The only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. When I designed that, it was a big deal, right? But right now in today's market, it's so fast and it's so high paced and high strung that you can really, these horror stories, you're seeing people cost themselves $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 by just not having the right strategy. You have some agent come along who's a friend or whatever it is. They sell 4 homes a year. The average agent in our MLS sells 4 homes a year. So if you sell 4 homes a year, 1 a quarter, you're probably not dialed into the pace of the market, what's happening, and how to strategize to get the absolute most amount of money and create a bidding war for your house to drive that price up. And so that's something we're seeing all the time. You owe it to yourself to reach out and call. And more importantly, your friends and relatives out there, for all our listeners, man, make sure you say, look, you got to call my buddy Blake. He has this system because we've really dialed it in and perfected it. And I'll talk about that in one of our success stories today. And also, on the flip side, guess what? It's very difficult for buyers out there right now. And so what we have for buyers is the same exact type system, but the opposite of the scale, right? It's called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. It gets you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, home inspection, all the way to the closing table, and even after you own the home. And so both those systems are designed to do one thing, which is give our client a huge competitive advantage, but it could not be more important than it is right now. I've been doing this business almost 20 years. I grew up in the business, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandpa, grandma, entire family sold real estate. I've never seen anything like it like I have right now. And so you owe it to yourself. Do not gamble with your largest assets, right? Make sure you proactively handle them. Make sure you have someone who's one of the top in the country, and make sure they have a system that can get you top dollar right now in today's marketplace for sure.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of stuff coming your way in just a minute. You mentioned success stories, Blake, just a minute ago. We'll get to success stories a little bit later on. But coming up next, we'll find out what's going on in this real estate market, how hot it is and how continued hot it is. And also, in addition to that, we'll look at some of the mortgage rates, some of the most important numbers you'll hear all weekend long. That's all coming up in just a minute. Remember, get in touch with Blake at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com.
Hey, if you are in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Hannity here with some important advice. Now look, I'm an active investor. I have bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets. And one of the lessons I have learned is this: hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers every week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now, that helps you generate multiple offers and sell your home for the most money possible. Plus, it's like getting an immediate offer on your home, because if your home doesn't sell for the price and the deadline you agree to, you will have it bought for cash, and he offers flexible fees. Find out how much demand your home can command right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Coming up in just a second, we'll see what the rates are looking like this week. Right now, though, let's find out what the market is looking like right now.
Brand new numbers, fresh off the press, and it's crazy. It's another record set, another just huge numbers. Now, the first number is single-family home sales. Month versus month of different year, right? So basically, right now we're looking at hindsight. So it's April versus April. The number's a little bit skewed because last year we had the lockdown, but if you look at the graph, it's still one of the highest it's ever been. Right next to March. And so last month for single-family home sales, 758 single-family homes sold, up 62% from the same month last year, which is huge, right? Massive jump in that regard overall and kind of what's going on. And so that's just something to kind of look at, where April wasn't that bad. April last year, 468 home sales versus 758 this year. Now, here's the key number, though. Average sale price. Average sale price last month alone for single-family homes was up 29%. So huge jump there. Average price right now, $378,787. So massive jump. And so that means literally, if you have let's say you have $100,000 home, that's almost $30,000 extra equity you have right now. And this is part of just what we're seeing, some unprecedented times in regards to just everything going up. And so make sure if you're a home seller, take advantage of that. Obviously, not sure how long it can sustain for, but you probably have a lot more equity than you think you do. And we've been talking about this for the past 2 weeks. Do not trust one of those online evaluations right now. Definitely want a professional, because what I'm seeing is people are basing their decision off of an online valuation of your home, but it does not take into account the human aspect, where people are bidding up over asking price if it's done right, where if you get the right exposure and get so much more money on it. And so reach out to us if you want to know more, or truly an expert, because you can probably get a lot more than you think you can for your house. Now, here's what's driving that on the pricing standpoint for sure. Inventory. We're at an inventory crisis right now, not just here locally, but on a national level. We continue to watch that go off a cliff. Last month, it was at 1.2 months. Right now, we're at 1.0 months even. It's a 78.3% decrease, which is just unfathomable. Just everybody is scooping everything up. And literally, if you look at it, we have hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of money coming in here every single week from other areas. I know, because I see it. I see the proof of funds. I see the deals. And so literally a 78.3% decrease in the amount of homes for sale. You add on top of that a 62% increase in the amount of homes sold. Guess where the pressure is? The pressure comes in at price, right? We all know it's supply and demand driven. As supply goes down, demand goes up. Guess where that puts pressure? The pressure is put on the price. And so that's why it's a perfect storm for homeowners right now to get the most amount of money for your home, which is crazy. And so that's just something we're seeing right now across the board. Now, here's the crazy thing. This is a little bit skewed too, but if you look at the increase of showings per listing, which is buyer traffic, it's up 307%, which is huge. And so we're still hot right now in the spring market with buyers coming in town. We're still seeing it. And I was talking about this earlier, is that we're still seeing a lot of people from up north, a lot of people who are angry, who are wanting to come down, who want a little more, freedom, so to speak, and they want to be able to have a lower cost of living. And things are changing in regards to the landscape of working remotely. And so guess where they're coming to? Myrtle Beach. And so we're in a perfect storm right now with really all-time low interest rates, affordability, people selling their homes up north and moving down to a state like South Carolina. And Myrtle Beach is poised to really take advantage of that. And that's something I'm very, very blessed for us to live here and be a part of that as well. Into condos really quick for anybody with condos. Condo market is super, super hot. Looking last month's numbers, 137% increase in the amount of condos sold, up 803. Again, it's a little bit skewed because of the lockdown numbers last year, but still it's a new record. And the overall graph, it's actually one home less than the previous record, which was last month. So last month in March, it was 804. This month, it was 803. And so we're still in that all-time high right there as well, which is important. Obviously, the big number everyone cares about is pricing. Average price for condos right now up 21.1% at $198,832. So great news there. And really, we're seeing people, like I mentioned in the past, we're seeing people who were previously looking to buy single family homes here in a certain price range. And what they found as they hesitated, as they waited, and we have hundreds and hundreds of these people. We talked to them for a year, 2 years. They were up north. They were going to come down. Then the lockdown happened. They didn't come down. Then they were waiting for the vaccine. Well, all of a sudden, by the time they can come down here, they're priced out of the market. And so what we're seeing is they're moving from single families into condos, which is a great opportunity for any condo owners out there because you're seeing prices jump up. Inventory for condos down 76.3% from the same time last year at 1.4 months. And so you're seeing the same exact thing there happen right now. And really, to sum these numbers up, we're seeing numbers that are unprecedented, right? In regards to the amount of homes sold, prices jumping up 30% per month. And so I'm not sure how long that party can go on for, but if you're thinking about, cashing out and taking a part of that or moving out somewhere else, downsizing, upsizing, make sure you take advantage of that, right? Because right now, interest rates super, super low. That's one of the things driving this. Last week's show is 3.13%. It hovered this week a little earlier at 3.09. Right now, it's 3.16% for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, a 15-year fixed rate, 2.60%, an FHA loan right now, 2.70%, and a jumbo loan, 3.16%, and a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage right now, 2.30%. And so the bottom line is there's a lot of fuel on that fire. We're poised to be really one of those locations that everyone is not just vacationing to. As a top 10 destination, people are moving here like crazy. And so anyone you talk to that mentions the word real estate, do not let them gamble with their largest assets and their equity. Have them call us, tackle them, whatever you got to do, and say, look, you got to call my buddy Blake, 843-808-SOLD, because the market is on fire right now.
All right, that sounds good. We'll tell you what, we're just getting started. Coming up in just 1 minute, we're going to be checking out more stuff that's going to be going on, including what we have as far as success stories are concerned. We're also got the hot buyers alert, and hopefully we don't have too many horror stories, but we'll see if there's anybody that falls into that category as well. It's all coming up in just a minute. Get in touch with Blake at his office, the Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or you can go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal.
How are we looking on time? How are we looking on time, you think?
When I'm moving on,
That's all right. I can look it up.
Song of the year, it struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that come with life's big changes. For many, that happens when it comes time to sell their home. If you're moving on, you want to really
Still got about 10 minutes.
Oh, cool. Perfect. All right. Great time.
An agent is willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com, or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.
Coming up in just a second, we'll have some great success stories from the team at Sloan Realty Group. Right now, though, it's time for your hot buyers alert, and they're really hot. Blake and his team working with just a huge amount of home buyers, and they're looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, anywhere from the range of $150,000 to $3.5 million. You heard Blake a minute ago. There's almost no inventory, so if you're thinking of selling, contact Blake immediately, and you will definitely get top dollar. Why? There's a lot of people looking in the Myrtle Beach area for your home, and they're on Blake Sloan's website. The number right now, 61,684. That's as of this second. How many people are actively home buying on Blake Sloan's website? It's just amazing.
Yes, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I made that scared announcement, 60 plus weeks ago when this lockdown happened. I said, look, I'm doubling down on marketing. I'm not going to stop it. We're going to continue doing that. I believe Myrtle Beach. And through that, we've captured so many buyers from all over the country. And we literally have a global reach. And that's one thing, like Sean Hannity said in the ad previously, the one thing that we do is we create more demand for your property. Anybody can sell a property right now, but the difference is, do you sell a property for the maximum amount of dollars based on the scenario of what's happening in the marketplace? And so, like Dave mentioned, we're at 61,684. And just to simplify that, I can take a classic Corvette and put it in the Walmart parking lot and sell it. But if I take the same classic Corvette and put it in every Corvette enthusiast website, every Corvette enthusiast group online, every Corvette enthusiast magazine, guess what I get? more specific Corvette lovers eyeballs who want that car, who are going to bid that price up. It's the same exact thing we do with your house, and that's why we have 61,684 buyers that we can match up immediately with your house. And like I mentioned, like right now on the site real time, we have Tony Epps from Kenosha, Wisconsin. I got Steve from Buffalo, New York. I got Lisa from West Babylon, New York. I got Christy from Lumberton, North Carolina, Monroe, North Carolina, Ed from New Paltz, New York. And you can see we're from all over, even local. I got one from Florence here, one from Pawleys Island. And so we have buyers looking for your property right now, and we're able to tee that up in the right way. We have a very, very specific strategy we've designed as this market has evolved. One, because I'm connected to other top agents across the country, and I was able to see what they were doing in markets where this already happened, places like Colorado, parts of California. And so what we're able to do is we're able to have a strategy where we build up a buzz for your property. We launch it on a certain day of the week. We add in 2 open houses to the weekend. We allow the buyers to come through. And what we do is we have a system where they can start bidding, making offers that create a bidding war. And once that happens, it unlocks really kind of like a bonus level to simplify it. And all of a sudden the price goes up because that's just what's happening. We're seeing so many agents make massive mistakes right now where they list it on a Monday, they get one offer for full price within an hour, and they just accept that one. And all of a sudden the seller could have gotten 30, 40, 50,000 more dollars. I literally see this 3 to 4 times a week consistently over and over and over because we have a huge buyer team. And obviously our buyer team is strategized to help get the property for our clients. So we're sending offers immediately, full price right in. And most agents don't know any better. They're just flat out accepting it without having a strategy there to do so. We know what days of the week are the best. And so all those things matter right now. But most importantly, what makes us different than anyone else is I continue to outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint, which puts more eyeballs on your property. And right now, those eyeballs are more important than ever. And so that's super important. Like Dave mentioned, we're in an inventory crisis. We have way more people looking than we do homes for sale. And so that's something, if you know anybody thinking about selling, if you've been listening for a while and you haven't reached out to us yet, we have a super simple, no hassle consultation. We kind of tell you, hey, look, here's what's going on. We ask some questions to see kind of what you're thinking. And a lot of times what we're finding is we're able to get these clients a lot more money than they even thought they could, which is super, super cool. And something I'm not used to, being in the business for 20 years. Usually they think the house is worth 300 and it's probably worth about 250. But now times are a lot different because it's moving so quick. So definitely free, hassle-free, super easy. Reach out and call us for sure, 843-808-SOLD. Really quick, though, I want to get to amazing success stories. Our team has been pushing very, very, very hard as usual, but a big shout out to Darlene. She owned a very nice townhome in River Oaks, but wanted to sell to be close to her family after her husband passed away. The challenge was that she needed to get absolute dollars so she could comfortably move back to Wisconsin with maximum cash in her hand. Thankfully, she saw one of our billboards, decided to give us a call. We came in, showed how we could get her way more money than she thought she could get for it. We designed a custom marketing plan, launched our Globe Marketing Blitz, professional photos, the virtual reality tour. We drove massive traffic, had multiple offers within the first day. Right, they bid against each other, able to negotiate a primary offer, right, at asking price, with a backup offer, both full price, and both of those signed an agreement to pay the difference if the appraisal came in below what they bid on. And so that's something we're seeing right now, and that's why we're protecting our client, where you're not having to go back and renegotiate and lose money on the table. We're finding a lot of novice agents aren't able to do that. And so when the appraisal comes in short, you're the home seller stuck holding that bag, reducing your price, or you got to go back to the drawing board. That's a very, very important thing right now as well. Also, a big shout out to Ann. Ann had a house in Surfside, wanted to potentially move back up north to Long Island to be closer to family. The problem was, though, she needed to get absolute top dollar to be able to afford what she wanted back in Long Island. Thankfully, she was referred to us by an amazing radio listener. We came in, designed a custom marketing plan, specifically designed to create that bidding war I was telling you about. Launched our Globe Marketing Blitz, professional photos. We did it through a process where it creates it over the weekend. Had those come in, multiple offers, bid up over asking price. They all agreed to pay the appraisal difference, but most importantly, here's what we did for her. We negotiated an extended closing date to give her the flexibility to be able to buy what she wanted back up north. And so just so you know, if you're a home seller that's scared right now, just kind of want to dip your toe and you're not really sure what to do because you can't find something else to buy, we have really mastered making sure you're in control. You pick the closing date, And now we're able to make sure you have time to find something else, which I think is super, super important. So if you want to know more about that, reach out, call us, 843-808-SOLD. How much time we got left?
3.5 minutes.
So I can see some other cool things. This is part of what's driving it right now, which I've seen. I'm not sure if you guys may have talked about it on your show, Dave. The Tripadvisor rankings. Did y'all talk about that?
I haven't seen those.
So brand new Tripadvisor rankings, which Tripadvisor is like the authority. If you ever Google any resort, anywhere, any place, guess who shows up first under the ads is Tripadvisor. They got all the reviews, all the great photos. I use them all the time to check something if I want to know, the scoop, because all the people who visit there post their photos too. So Myrtle Beach ranks 3rd most popular destination this summer in the 2021 Tripadvisor survey, which is super cool. And really the numbers are really impressive. It said nearly half of Americans, 43% in the survey, said travel rebound within the next 3 months, and over 2/3, 67% are planning to travel this summer between June 1 and August 31, which is awesome, right? And so check it out. The top most popular accommodations for 2021, number 1 was Cancun, number 2 Orlando, Florida, and number 3 was Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which is super cool, right? I mean, the other people on the list: Key West, Florida. I was just there recently. Miami Beach, Florida; Las Vegas, Nevada; Playa del Carmen, Mexico; Cabo San Lucas, Mexico; Tulum, Mexico; and Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. So that's a doggone strong list for us to be coming to number 3, right?
Yes, it is.
I mean, so I was like blown away, but that just shows you Myrtle Beach is the hot spot, man. People are loving here. That's why the market's going through the roof. And so last thing, 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, I gotta go.
So everyone's asking, like, and this is such a visual thing. I'll see if I can post it on the Sloan Realty Group .net page if you guys want to look at it. It says the number of homes built in the United States between 1900 and 2019. If you look at per million, right, built, there's obviously millions built between each decade. So, for example, 1990 to 1999 had 26.65 million homes built. 2000 to 2009, 27.05 million homes built. 1970, 1979, 25.84 million homes built. So all those are what, 25 plus million homes built per decade. From 2010 to 2019, Dave, how many do you think was built?
I'm bad at math.
5.8 million.
Really?
So a 20 million homes built shortage in that decade, which is what's leading to a lot of this problem. This is great data here. And that came after the Great Recession, right? Builders were wiped out. It was hard to get capital. People were scared forever until like 2014, 2015 to do anything. And so that's what's leading to the shortage. And that does give hope that it will last a little bit longer. I'm just not sure how long. So anyone thinking of selling, reach out to us. Again, our team is pushing super hard. And one thing we're seeing, record-breaking numbers, but on the flip side, I watch people leave 20, 30, 40. I mean, we not necessarily laugh about it, but we're just baffled about it. On the buyer team, we put an offer in this week. The very day it's listed, sight unseen, full price. Agent just accepted it. Didn't know, didn't wait at all, didn't give time for anybody else to see it. If you gave at least 1 day for people to get in there, guess what? 3 or 4 or 5 offers, drive the price up. Now you put $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in the seller's pocket. Do not allow yourself to lose your hard-earned equity going with some novice agent in today's fast-paced market for sure.
All right, sounds good. Most money, that's what you're going to get when you go with Blake Sloan. Find out more by talking directly to Blake Sloan and the Sloan team. It's Sloan Realty Group. That's the name to look for. And the number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. You can also go online to blakesloan.com to find out more. blakesloan.com. A lot of great stuff, Blake. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
All right. The Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay hidden fees. And your friend Sean Hannity here to tell you, as an active investor, I firmly believe in working with the smartest local agents who sell homes in